Mesachta Bava basra, daf kuf lamed hey abed aleph, the top line. Ahu the havik. There was a person, well, and he had brothers, but he didn't have any sons. And his wife is now the chazaka that she's going to have to be miyam if he dies. She can't just go marry Bashuk. She's a Yavama. Yavama Bashuk is also.
He has brothers?
He has brothers, yeah. That's what we said. He has
no children.
no children.
He had brothers, otherwise it was a Hushai.
Right. Amrulay, so they asked the husband, hey, mister, Itse Laman, to whom will your wife be a wife after you die? Are you meaning, is she zakuk to be mayam the brothers or not? They want to know if that's what is she a free bird or not? That's what essentially he was asking. So Amalahu, he said to them.
In what sense he asked her which brother you want to marry?
No, not that. He said, is she a free bird that you can marry to the world, or she's going to have to go through Yivum? That was really his shaila.
How can he ask her if he has brother? He's dying.
Oh, Amalahu, Chazil Kahana Rabba. She's a free bird. She can even marry a Kayin Gadol.
If he dies.
If he dies. The truth is, Amar Kayin Gadol is nicht the mutter.
Yeah.
But here it's not even mutter to a Kayin, because what's going to be his reason? When he said that she's mutter, he didn't say because he has sons. He said she could even marry, she can go marry freely. So the only way she can marry freely, we understand, he implied that he divorced her before the marriage. That's the only way. The two ways that he can get out of that she gets out of the yibum is either he has sons or either he was divorced. But if he's not saying he has sons, so we have to assume that he meant to say he's divorced. No, right, that's what the Rashbam says. So she can't even marry to a kohen. So he meant to say that she's free. He didn't mean to say Mam Shakain. If you want, I can read it even from here. Because
he gave her?
She can go out, marry. Doesn't have to marry the brothers. Doesn't have to do Yibum Chalitza.
That's when he'll die?
Because he's going to, after he dies. Yeah.
No.
So what is he trying to say to her? I'm going to divorce you before I die.
He's saying she was divorced. That's what he was telling the people. Let her go free. She doesn't have to do any Yibum Chalitza.
Oh, because she's a divorcee.
But she's a divorcee. She doesn't say it. But we're saying if he had sons, he would say he has sons. By him not saying that he has sons is mashma. What does he want to say? She's divorced, and that's why she's free to marry whoever she wants.
I can't marry a kohen.
Can't marry even a kohen. We said is also cannot marry a kohen. So the Ashbam means he meant to say that she's free. He didn't mean to say
you don't have to be in the family.
Doesn't have to be in the family. Doesn't have to go through Yibum Chalitza. So you want to open my nechish. Why should we be concerned about this woman to ask her to marry in the shuk? Here it's as if he said a Baal that says that he divorced his wife. He's believed. Even there's noise. Doesn't matter. That's what we know. That's the only thing he's implying.
They say there's a code. People know about it.
Oh, that's later. 1 minute. So that he shouldn't be believed, you're saying.
Yeah.
But right now we're not bringing that in. So we said a Baal that says that he's divorced. Rav is saying, what kind of a chiddush is this? What kind of a concern do we have? For sure, if he says she's mutter to marry, obviously he said she's divorced, and a Baal that says that he divorced his wife is believed. We learned Faket that Rabbi Yochanan said that he divorced his wife. He's not believed, and like you said, what we brought down from the Rashbam yesterday.
What did she say?
Why is she not believed? Because there would have been a koil, and now since there was no koil, it's as if there's Adam that are saying she didn't get divorced.
Were you divorced or not divorced?
Huh?
What about asking her?
She'll say, doesn't matter. We're asking him, but we're saying there's a day that says Rabbi Yochanan says she's not divorced. So because if she was divorced, there would have been a koil, and now that there's no koil, is it right? Of course she's going to say that. So obviously there's Adam that are saying, we consider as Adam is saying she's not divorced. So he says, I'm a lay, Rav answer to Abai. This kasha we asked yesterday. Haven't we answered already this same question yesterday? How do we answer? We said, let's say he married his niece. His niece committed adultery. He wants to say he was already divorced before she committed adultery. This is we're not going to let. Why aren't we going to let? Because we say Lemafreya, there would have been a koil if it's such a long time. But if he's saying he got divorced right now, the koil didn't go out yet. He's believed to say he's divorced. That's what we learned yesterday. In fact, on this answer, we're going to Tzchalozin, and that's it. That's the concern.
Because he made a divorce, it would be a coil if it was yesterday. But if it's today, the divorce, there's no coil.
There's no koil right now, but in a couple of days it'll happen. The koil, it takes time.
Yeah.
In fact, are we going to rely on this answer to say that that's it? That they consider as divorced? According to Rabbi Yitzchak holds that the Baal is not even believed in Mekan Abba. Even from here now, he's not believed. So since there's a suffix, and you remember if we say Palgina Debura, Loy Palgina Debura by one goof. So if let's say he says he was divorced in the past.
It has to be separate people. It can't be the
Yeah,
same.
but here's the same person. You want to say in the past, but for the future it's going to help. This Mandama holds it's not going to help. And Michlal, there's a Mandama that says, even forget Loy Palgin Debura. There's a Mandama that says, Rabbi Yechon says, that we consider since there was no Kay even right away, that's already no good. Okay, Rava answers, I hold like you, Rabbi. Your question is a good question. And therefore, we are, since there's a concern here, she cannot get married till there's chalitza, and she's not free. The Leslie Yachi, there was another story. The story is no brothers. So now Leslie Yachi, and so he brings down an 8 that we know he had no children. Also, it was Bava those that there was no children, says the Ashbam.
No brothers.
And here there was a chazaka, there was no brothers. And now the Amr Shasmi said the Leslie Achi. Now, so the Chayef, there's for sure no sons, but there's only a chazaka, there's no brothers. It's a little iffy. If there's maybe brothers, maybe there has to be.
He had a chazaka that we didn't know he didn't have brothers.
Brothers.
Also, he's telling you I don't have brothers.
Right, that 1 minute. I'm bringing out the point. It's a vadai. We know he has no children. So if he had a brother, for sure there would have to be Yibn Chalitza.
If she had children,
There's no Yibn Chalitza.
Because
He has a son. The whole reason for to be Mekayim the brother's name. But if there's a son, there's nothing to talk about. But here we're talking about for sure no sons. The whole Shaila has been gave brothers. So here's a chazaka. There's no brothers. So and the Oman he himself says as a shchivmera he has no brothers. What should we worry about? What's the concern? The the Leslie. Number one, we have a chazaka. He doesn't have brothers. He says Mishas Misa he doesn't have brothers, and you have to believe him because of he has a migu. He could have divorced her now while he's a shchivmera. He could have taken care of business. So believe him that he has no brothers.
So what's concern here?
So what's the concern? That's the kasha.
What would they say? They had a suffix what to do.
What's this chiddush? You tell me a whole story, and Rav Yosef said so. They asked Rav Yosef the shaila. Rav Yosef says, "What's the concern?" It's a double whammy. Number one is chazaka. There's no brothers. Number two, no children for sure not. No, if there's no children, there's a son. But one is there's chazaka. There's no brothers. Two, he says he has no brothers as a shchimera, and we believe him because he has a migo. He could say, "I could divorce my wife now." So what's the concern? He said to Amri, the Ika Edom Ibn Sayam, the other Yislayachi. He says, it's not so simple, the story. Balsafran Edom, that's saying in Medina Sayam, there's a koil, there's no Edom. There's a koil that says there are Edom in Medina Sayam that he has.
Possibility there's a coil.
No, there's a koil, for sure koil. There's a koil that there are Edom in Medina Sayam that say he has brothers. If there were actual Edom, then for sure the whole case is over. So Abaye is telling him, what's the concern over there? It's not so simple. You ask him, because I'm telling you what's going on. That there was a cult, that their brothers in Medina Sayam. Says, you want to hash to me. So Rav Yosef answers, big deal. If there's a coil that there are Edom that say that there are Edom in Medina Sayam. Hash to me is, her lesson come on. Right now, we don't see him. I mean, right now we don't see the guy over here.
He said there's a coil though.
The coil, but there's a chazaka against the coil. The chazaka is stronger. So Talking about Lav Hani Rabbi Chanina isn't the story of Rabbi Chanina. Let me tell you the story with Rabbi Chanina. Shmuel had daughters that were captive. That were
Who had daughters?
Shmuel,
Shmuel, okay.
and they grabbed the daughters,
The Goyim.
the goyim, and when they came out, when they came out, so they came out. They wanted to say they're clean, so they told the captives, "Let us go into shul. We'll come back to you." They come into the Beis Medrash and they tell Rabbi Hanina, "Listen, nobody knew that they were shvuyim. We were captive, but we're pure. We're pure. We weren't violated. We weren't. Uns nicht behandelt gemacht." So Rabbi Hanina said, "Good. So nobody knew you were shvuyim. So that's it.
Yeah.
So let's see what happens. Lav Hani Rabbi Hanina. Isn't it the story of Rabbi Hanina? Rabbi Hanina. Rabbi Hanina tells this story with the psak with these girls. So what happened? Eidim Mitzad Astam. They said that, but there's Eidim that are testifying that they were violated in the Tzvein Shalom. Don't Nishda. Elsewhere. So hat gesagt, mit Teyasa, Eidim Mitzad Astam mit Teyasa, the Eidim that was facing. That know that she was violated, but where are they? In Timbuktu, in the Tzafon Shalaylam. Because the hot eaten got nuts and clots. With the Yasa, some Asin Mitzadeh Amalei. So what do we see? It's mamish the same case. We don't care if somebody comes and makes a koil that there's a brother out there, but the Eidim are not here. And the same thing that here the girls got violated as a koil. We're not going to break the migo. It's done. Here also, the migo is done. It's good. It's good. I mean, Amalei Abaya answered to Rav Yosef, how could you compare the two? By Shvuya, there's a kula for 3 reasons. He brings you in the Rashbam. What are the 3 reasons? Let me just look at the number over here. It's 16. He says, number 1 is the Stam Isha protects herself from being violated. How? She makes herself look disgusting. They'll say, we don't want her. That's 1. 2, says the Rashbam, there's only a suffix if she was nivala or not. So we should put it on her original chazaka that she is a psula, she wasn't violated. And 3, Dr. Rashbam, and even if she was, but so much lighter Isa, it's a lav. It's a Isa kal if she marries a kohen. If she was violated and she married a kohen, it's only a lav, it's not. So, but by over here, by the case of a brother's alive, so then it's Eishes Ish, it's Chanek. In fact, what do you mean it's Chanek? He's dead. So it's only a Yavama, a Yavama Lachutz, a Yavama Lashuk, I think it's called. A Yavama Lashuk. That's also love. You see, Eishes Amez, Lachutz Lizor. That's what the Rabbi Akiva answers. He says, no, since we started off with Eisa Daraisa, because while she was married to him, right? She was married, she wasn't allowed to marry the other brothers. But we say we translate that Chomo de Keisa, that if he dies, it's like she's married to the brothers. And if Chas V'Shalom she goes like Shuk, it has the same severity of Eishes Ish. Maybe you're right that the punishment is not as much, but it's called Eishes Ish. That's what, in gist, he answers like that. Okay, Zakti Yimana Amalei Ravel, Rav Nosson Barami, Chushla, Yitzhak have to be concerned. He says Yitzhak, not a comparison. Right. We say, even before he dies, she's already Zakuk to the brothers. She's like casting out with the brothers. If she get Lashuk, it's considered Eishes Ish.
Is a brother?
So he says, since we're dealing with such a Chomo de Keiser, we have to be concerned. So we say that we're concerned, and she has to have chalitza. Okay. Dr. Yimar, we learned in the Mishnah.
From who? From which brother?
From the first one that comes, the oldest, whatever, how it goes.
He does say which brother.
Each brother, yeah, it goes from the oldest, and if the oldest does one, you go to the next one, the next one, the next one. If none of them want, the last one does chalitza. So each one has a chalitza. Okay. Not each one. Once she has chalitza from the first one, it's done.
Yeah, but we said before the whole shaila was does she have brothers or not? He said he doesn't have brothers.
Right. So, but there was a koil that her Eidim in something that he has brothers.
So how do we get this brother to come here and give it the chalitza?
So, okay, so
So
we
the
have.
Jews say, "Ah."
He says you have to be mavara. He says if there's a kol sheish edim sheish l'may lachem, so she cannot marry lashuk till you achi is bara adov. It says the you have to be mavara about it. No, but if you find a brother, then it's chalitza. You don't find a brother, you're clear. There's no brother. You did all the homework. Then she's off to it.
Due diligence.
Yeah, due diligence. Yeah. Zag the Yimada, we learned in the Mishnah. He says ze ochi. He says this one, he's my brother. Meaning the father died. And there's Reuben and Shimon to inherit 3 fields. So Reuben is supposed to get 1.5, and Shimon is supposed to get 1.5. Or 2 fields, Reuben and Shimon. And Reuben says, hey, Levi is also a brother. He has to split with us.
So 3.
Zak Shimon gave 5, and I don't even know who he is. And Reuben has to split his half.
Because he said it.
He said it, the made given. Zak the Yimada, v'hidach my kami. What is this Shimon saying? That the one that doesn't want to divide. What is he saying? Ikamri. If he also says he's a brother, why should he only split with the one that's being made with Reuben and not with Shimon? The Gemara,
He shouldn't split if he agrees.
what?
He agrees that he's a brother.
Yeah, so why shouldn't he split the second brother? Why shouldn't he split also? Rather, we're talking about that he said, he said he's not a brother. If he said he's not a brother, Sefer, look what it says in the Sefer. The Levi died, right? You remember that case? Levi, the third brother died. So what happens? So that field that he took out of the half a field he took out of Reuben goes back to Reuben. But if Levi accumulated a whole bunch of fields, so aside from the field that he took, that half a field he took from Reuben, he gives back to Reuben. The other fields, both brothers divide equally. So, in fact, what are you talking about? If the Levi, the third brother, which one of them said he's a brother and the other one says he's not a brother, why'd you pass in Yeshua? Why should they both Why should they both divide equally with him? One of the brothers, he said he's not a brother. Just because there's money, I take half. But you said he's not a brother. Goodbye. So why did you say if it's fields that Levi bought? He just said he's not a brother. If he said he's not a brother and Levi now dies and he left fields, why is the one who's saying he's not a brother getting a part of it? Says over here, it's talking about the comedy in on Yodim. He's not saying he's not a brother. He says, I don't know if he's a brother. So he's saying, the one brother is saying Vadai. The other brother is saying Shema. He holds, even though it's a buddy with Shema, it's not buddy Adav. He says, look, Zola bring Araya, that he's a brother to be Maitzi Mechaveda. He wants to get my chelik from the Yerusha. Let him bring Araya. Really, it's a machlekes. It's a machlekes between, who was it? Rav Huna. No, it's Rav Nachman. There's 2 who the halacha is like. Yeah, Rav Nachman and Shmuel, I think. Let me see. I'm not sure. Let me see. Rav Nachman and Rav Yochanan. I'm sorry, Rav Nachman and Rav Yochanan. And Rashi says, the Rashbam says, the halacha is like Rav Nachman when it comes to dinei mamanis, and the halacha is like Rav Yochanan against this chava. The other 2 were Rav Huna and Rav Yehuda. They say if it's a case of Shema body, a case of body with Shema body Yadav. But Rav Nachman and Rav Yochanan say no, it's a case of Beitzim Chavera. Even though one is saying body and the other one is saying Shema, but Shema you can't take out of. And Allah is like that.
You have to swear, though. You have to swear.
No, he has to bring proof. Amar Rabba, they say
It's not one against the other. It's it's on the case itself. There's a you don't know.
It's a body with Shem. Amar Rabba said they say matters. Mana libi yadcha. He says this. From here we can prove that because this is a case of body with Shema. And what did our Mishnah paskin? If one brother says Shema, you don't take it out. So we have a raya from the Mishnah, like the Shita of Rabbi Yochanan and Rav Nachman. So we should have brought this as a raya. Amar Rava says from here we can prove that he says, I have $100 of mine in your hand. Any a day, he says. The other one says, I don't know. Maybe Potter. He's Potter. Who says he's Potter? Only Rav Nachman and Rabbi Yochanan. But Rav Huna, Rabbi Yehuda say in that case, Bari Adif, and he has to pay up the money. But here
He
we,
has to swear. Why does he have to pay?
Bari Yisham, Bari Adif.
He's really saying, I don't owe you the money. Prove it that you owe me the money. I owe you the money.
He doesn't have to.
Just because you say that.
If you're saying Shema, we go with the cloud Bari Adif. That's according to Rav Huna, Rabbi Yehuda. The halach is not like that. The halach is like Rav
If I
Nachman.
come over to you and I say you owe me $100 and you say,
I say maybe.
so then you got to pay.
Yep. That's what it is.
So maybe, maybe it was 100 years
Well,
ago.
the guy who says maybe is not so simple. He doesn't get away with just saying maybe. He's going to have to swear, right? This that he doesn't pay according to Rav Nachman Rav Yechdan, right? He has to swear that he doesn't know. That's not so simple. Anyway, Zak the Yemara. So l'chayda we have a raya that by the case of man lebi yatcha alayim ani yadeya patur, we have a raya that it's patur. Why do you say, so? We have a raya to Rav Nachman and Rav Nachman Rav Yechdan. So Abai says you have no raya. Laila meimalach. Really, by Bari V'Shama, I'll tell you chayiv. Here's not a regular case of Bari V'Shama. V'shayni hacha the kemana la'acha b'yatcha dami. What is he saying? There's Reuven and Shimon. Reuven says that Reuven says that Levi is a brother, and he tells Shimon, give him money. So Shimon says, Du bist nicht the Baldin. If it's Levi, Levi has to come to me. Levi doesn't even know that I owe money. He doesn't even know if he's a brother or not. So you're coming, this is like a case of Manula Acha B'Yotcha. He says, you know, this guy, you owes him a money. Yeah? He tells Shimon, you gotta pay this guy, because this guy doesn't know what from flying. If you give me money, fine. He doesn't know nothing. The guy cooked of him. This guy owes me money. Yeah, shuck him a cup. Why not? I'll take the money. So, but Shimon Kentaina, lot bald dvorim di deyat, zolek kumen. Und jener kenn ich kumen, because he doesn't even know he's a brother.
He doesn't even know the money.
So everybody agrees in such a case, it's not a case of Bari V'Shama. And his potter. So we learned that if Levi died, what happened? Before Levi died, Reuven was the only one that said that he's a brother, and he gave half his field. Now Levi dies, so Levi has to return that half of the field. Now we're going to talk about what's if that half of the field, when Levi had it, is given asach besa. It became worth double. Could the brother come and divide in that part? If it was a shvach that it became it became much bigger, much stronger, more fertilized. Now, what's the deal? Says the Gemara, if it's a shvach that Levi had geld, he put in these palm trees he put it in when he got it from his brother, the half of field. It was desolate. There was nothing there. It was foul, and he filled it out. He developed it. So for developing it, that's not a shaila. It's considered as if he went ahead and bought other fields. The other brother gets a chelekin. Here, he only gets back the worth of the field the way it was without the brother putting in money. The money that he put in, they both have to get equally. But that's not a shaila. Kiti bailach. Where was the shaila? That's it's chvabeset from sich allein. That the field started to grow ahead. Somehow, and soil was somewhere. It fell on that field, rich soil, and it became ba'alim. It became much thicker. Ara the kaka be aska sirtain. Sirtain means somehow rich soil fell on this field. And Zevel, and because of that, the whole field got better. What's the din? Is that shvach was in kum from Zechalein? Does the brother get to divide? So you want to take who? It was black than Abaya. Okay, so from Ameis, somebody who was a shchimera. Normally, if you want to be makna nechosim to another person, you have to be makna mit hakinyan. By a shchimera, hat mir gesagt, darf nicht. He just have to say it, and if he says it, it's kibsurim, mamish kibsurim dam. It's like it was written and given over, because we don't want to aggravate or make him more sick. if he feels he's not going to be able to distribute in the chosim, he'll get even more. And it's too much. But kinyonim, he's going to get all aggravated. It will make him sick more, the more sick.
So you're lucky you kill him.
Yeah, so therefore we trust his words are good. Misha Meis, you always get to the point. Okay, Misha Meis. When Nim says daitaki, one who is a shchimera, and he died, and they found a star tzavor, they found a star on him, and shudal yerecha, he was tied to his thigh. Harei zu eine klum.
It was him with like a...
He had a pouch or whatever with a star tzavor. So we say that tzavor is worthless because it's mashma. He wanted. He found a star tzavor.
That's what it is.
Yeah, he found the star tzavor. So it says the Gemara, if he found the star tzavor on him, it's worthless. Why? Because the Rashbam explains he wanted that it should happen dafka through the star, not through his words. But why did he make a star? Because he wanted the kinyan should happen through the star.
So if he says...
And star lachamisa, you can't use a star. Once he's dead, he can't use it. If you want, I'll use the lashon here. He had to be makna the star, right?
It sounds like a tzavor in the star.
It's
It sounds like a star.
but he shows, but the tzavor you have to give. It's a matona. He's giving as a. So we say if he writes it.
I think it means it's meshubah for some purpose, no? Isn't
Daitiki is do tehei koi lachamisa. That's what it means. That should use as a star for if the misa. But this wasn't the case. He wrote up the star. He never said anything. That's the problem. If he would have said something then. Maybe he wanted it to have to be through the star. Nobody could acquire the star now. Nobody could acquire it. Zikaba, but if the Shchivara was Mizakeh, he was Mizakeh in the Chasim in his lifetime, even though in the star it wasn't written for that person. He wrote, let's say he wrote in the star, this and this field 1, 2, and 3, I'm giving to Reuven, and he wrote it in the star.
Okay.
And then he takes the star and he gives it to Shimon. And he says, it's yours. I want it to be yours. Everything that's written in the star. Even though in the star it was written Reuven. That's called Shchimera, saying words, a real daitiki, that he gave over. Zika, it's Zikaba. The Shchimera was Mezakeh, the Chas B'chayo. Even though here it says, it wasn't written for Shimon. But he didn't give it to Reuven. Ulach became Nimlach v'Yamal Shimon, and then after he changed his mind, and he says to Shimon here, "Nechos maksum b'shtar zeh, it's yours. Ani mak necha b'kabolas hashatz, just take it from me, and it's yours. I stay to him. Who cares?
He's ignoring the whole star.
He's ignoring the name, yeah, because it did Shchimera. Bein shaya mekabel Shimon min haYoshim, whether he was from the Yoshim, or bein sheina min haYoshim, whether he's not. Varu kayomin. Because it's divrei Shchimera. And Divrei Shchimera is Kiksubim v'Kimsurim Dami. In fact, sagt die Gemara, Tamer Habarim gelernt, is a daitiki. You remember, yes, what is a daitiki? He says, with meaning, what is a daitiki that you can be koine, even achamisa without a kinyan? Sagt die Gemara, kol atzavah Shchimera, if the Shchimera sagt, shekasaba da tehei lemekim eliyos. He says, this star should be good even after his death. That's the Loshen daitiki. It's not written in the star. He says it. It's as if he says he should. I want to give it over to this guy before he dies. It's as if it says "Do tehei lemekim v'liyos lachamisa."
He's giving it away while he's alive.
When he's alive,
saying that when should you accept it and receive it is what I'm afterwards.
yeah. He's not giving you as a matona. It's Divrei Shchimera. He didn't do any kinyan there. There was no kinyan. He says, but first there was no kinyan. Okay, so matona. What is a matona? Kol shekasuv ba. A matona is that he writes mahayoim ula'acha misa. which means that the so matana is now. You're kind of the gufa karka now, and the paydays I'll let you take. He wants the paydays for now. After he dies, you get the paydays also. Only if he wrote Mahayoim Ula Chamisa. But he has to write Mahayoim Ula Chamisa. But if he wrote Me'achshav, meaning or Mahayoim, Lo Yahavi Matana. The Matana is not Chal because so no, he's asking. He says you're saying Mahayoim Ula Chamisa. Who da Matana? He's saying only if he said Mahayoim and Ula Chamisa, then it's a Matana. How about if he said Mahayoim just without Ula Chamisa? Lo Yahavi Matana. It's not going to be a Matana. For sure, it's going to be a Matana. That's the real Matana. He's giving him everything now. He means like this. Show me in a concept of Matana being similar to a Matana of a Shchid. So he said, that he's not going to be kind only after Misa. If Kol Shekasa Ba Mahayim Ula Chamisa, if he wrote it as a Matana from today till La Chamisa. So from today he's kind of the Gufa Karka, Ula Chamisa he's kind of the Peiris. But nevertheless, there's still a difference, the Rashbam says. Because a Shchid, let's say he told him Mahayim Ula Chamisa, right? But if he tells him, I don't want you to get the Gufa Karka, I changed my mind, I want the Tzava, I'm changing the Tzava to this guy. As a Shchid, he could change his mind. A body, so you gave him matana and he gave him a star, it can't change. That's the only difference. But the concept of being kind of the gufa karka and the paydas after misa, that is similar to a shchimera. Yosef Rabba bar Avuna be'aksad be'irav. Rabba bar Avuna was sitting on the porch of Beirav. Yosef became a mishmei Rabbi Yochanan. He sat and he said the name of Rabbi Yochanan. Shchimera she'oma kisu tnu mana lepleni. A shchimera says, write up a star and give the mana of my nechasim, a mana worth of $100 of my nechasim lepleni, umeis, and then he wrote. He told him to write up a star that there should be a mana worth of my properties to pleni. Yeah, he said kisvu utnu.
Give the star or give the
kisvu star. Give the star. Write up a star, right, and give him $100 worth of karka from the star. He told him with the star. Umeis, and the Shchiv Merah died before writing up the star.
But he just was talking about
but he said a star. Write up a star. Or before he wrote up the star, but he didn't give the star yet. So then we say ain't kaisman ain't naisnin. We don't write it, and we don't give the star. Because maybe he had in mind that the only way you should be kind of this karka is only through a star. A star, you can be makna to somebody after death. Amalu Rabbi Lazar is darable. Rabbi Lazar said, listen, be careful, this is the psak, that's the halacha. So when you listen to such a thing, be careful to how you paskin. If he died before giving it over, before writing a star, you can't do nothing. Even if he wrote the star, you can't give it to him. Rav Shizri Amar, Rav Shizri says, Rabbi Lazar Amara, Rabbi Yochanan is daroba. Rav Shizri says it was faket. Who said the halacha? Before we said who said the halacha of Shchid Merah Kisu Utnu Mana Lepleni, we said it was Rabbi Yochanan. Now we're saying it's not Rabbi Yochanan. Rav Shizri says Rabbi Lazar said it, and who's the one that said it's daroba? Rabbi Yochanan. And before we said it was Rabbi Lazar. It's much more reasonable to say like Rav Shizri. Because if you say Rabbi Lazar said the halacha, Rabbi Lazar was the student of Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan, so he needed Rabbi Yochanan to say, yeah, but Rabbi Lazar, my Talmud Zog, das is the halacha. Listen, even though he's my Talmud, but listen, it's halacha. If you're going to say, Rabbi Yochanan said the halacha, and Rabbi Lazar, Rabbi Yochanan, Rabbi Yochanan needs Rabbi Lazar to sagen, give the haskama, das mein haskama. Geh pfeife mit deiner haskama, ich bin der Rebbe, du bist der Talmud. Okay. Sagt jemand even more so. Toshma, prove to you it was Rabbi Lazar who said this din. The Rabbi Lazar Amora, that Rabbi Lazar Amora. The Shalach Rabbi Mishmed Rabbi Abo, have a yoy Mishah Shalach Rabbi Lazar Lakelim Mishmed Rabbeinu. Shchiv Merah, Sha'omar Kisvu, Tnub, Manu, Lepleni, Umeis, Ein Kaisvim and Naisnim, Shamalai Gamalak Nais Alabishtar. Here you have the Beferish story that Rabin said in the name of Rabbi Avin, that Rabbi Lezer said this exact din. And Rabbi Yochanan Tibadik. And Rabbi Yochanan, the Lashon is a little different. Rabbi Yochanan said, check out what he meant with his Lashon. In fact, the my Tibadik, what do you mean check out? Tell us, when Abdimi came, he says, Ashchibera could be mevatel his tzava. We say, until now I said it should go to Reuben. I changed my mind, it should go to Shimon. So, but that's one thing. And then he said, Shchibera Shama Kisu Tnu Manu Lepleni Umeis Royin Im Kimiyapa Eskoichai. If a person, Shchibera says, write up a star and give it to this person, we have to check out if he said to write the star just to make it easier that he should have no charaya that it was given to him. But it was really, the kinyan was done through the divrei shchimera. So, b'im lav, and if you see he wanted it shadafka be through the shtar, in case we don't write the shtar. Maser Rabbi Abba B'Mamel, Rabbi Abba B'Mamel is the kasha. Bari she'ama kisut nu manu lepleni umeis, in case we neisnen. A body that said, write up the shtar, give it to this person that he should be kind of the karka. He was healthy, and then he died. We don't give it in case of Neisnim, because we know he only meant that he should be kind of with the shtar. Ein shtar lachamisa can't be a makna shtar noch misa. If the misa,
Give it to him when he's alive.
he said kisut no, but he didn't. He died before he gave it over. Here it comes out. Why Shchibana is not even a shaila, like Rabbi Lezer want to make a shaila. I mean, like Rabbi Yochanan want to say it's a shaila. And the one who he asked it. Rabbi Abba Mamal asked this question and he answered it. How? He says, "B'meyapa es koichai." By what this diuk that a Shchibana, it's going to be a kinyan, even though he didn't give it over yet, because the shtar that he said is only that it should be easier for him to have more rayas that it was given to him. Hey Chidami. How is the case of Miyapa Keich? Show me what's the lashon that he used, that he's only telling him to write up the stars that he should have it as easier for him. How do you see that? He says the Eidim should be kind of from him, meaning from the Noisen, the star, as the Nechasim b'Noisev Moisev Matanta. He already gave it as a matana, as a shchimera. B'Noisev to that. The Moisiv, he should have it as star. Hachanami, here also, if the Noisin said, Af, also, besides what I said, give it to that person as a shchimera, Af, Kseive v'chaseive b'avalei. Besides this, that as a shchimera, I'm telling you to give it to this guy, that's what the shchimera said. He said, in addition, write up a star and give it. So, in addition means just to use as a raya to help him. Itmam and gelernt Rav Yehuda Mashmol. Rav Yehuda said name Mashmol halacha kaisvim v'noisnim. We take write it and give it if it's only for to be meyapa the koyach. If he said it as a divish chimera and then he said in addition to write it and give him the shtar, we give it to him. Of course, but we're saying we want to bring out that he said it in addition to what he said as a shchimera, write up a star. We said we give him the star. We give him the star. Amar Rav Nachman halacha. That koisman nice, we talk give them a tana if he wrote it in a way that's meyapes koichet, that it makes it just that it should be easier for him to prove that he was given by the shchimera.